Ace Podcast.
Hey, this is Aaron.
And this is Craig.
And you're listening to my favorite podcast, Don't Wake the Kids.
On the Ace Podcast Network.
Hey there, boys and girls. Welcome back to Don't Wake the Kids. This is Randall. Always, of course. I'm joined today with somebody new, someone you don't know, someone I might have mentioned a couple times, but I'm not really sure. Chris, say hi.
What up, everybody?
So, Chris is probably my second longest friend. He's like the only friend I have that I talk to on a regular basis since junior high.
7th grade,
I was,
believe.
yeah. Well, I was 15.
Wait, no, yeah. Because
Yeah.
I had my driver's
So,
license.
16 years. Yeah. But yeah, so he's gonna join us tonight and possibly every week in the future.
That would be exciting.
We'll see what you guys say after this episode goes. I have to let you judge him. I have to say, I didn't mention it last week. I forgot. When I was editing the interview with Kathy, it just totally slipped my mind. I forgot to mention, I'm sure a bunch of you noticed that the music went back to 1 Million Watts by Norma Jean. Doesn't have the, what I think is awesome music that Ashley made. I think it's perfect, but I had a lot of you said that you prefer Norma Jean, that you think it fits better with the show. So I'm giving in to your demands. Some of you that made this suggestion actually support the Patreon, and I can't ignore that. So we're back to Norma Jean. I'm going to keep it forever, I guess. I'm fine with it because the song fucking rules. And thank you, Corey, again, for letting me use it.
Could you not like set up maybe like as like an outro or something?
Well, I also use the ending of the Norma Jean song, 1 Million Watts, as the outro. But today, as a special farewell to the Don't Wake the Kids theme by Ashley Kottner, we're gonna go out on it.
Alrighty,
So
Buffalo Bill it is.
One last time. Chris thinks it sounds like is it Buffalo Bill in Joe Dirt, or which it's Buffalo something? There's so many different versions.
I hope it's Buffalo Bill because that's what I've been saying all night so far. If not, it's what it was in my mind.
Right. But yeah, so that's that. Before Chris and I bullshit for a little bit, we are doing a segmented show again. We're back to real news or fake news, #trending. We've got a YouTube channel of the week. At least I hope Chris brought a YouTube channel of the week.
I did.
Okay. And
homework.
I'm gonna bust out a Playboy again. We're gonna head back to the Playboy whatever it's fucking called, the Ask Playboy whatever Advisor, Playboy Advisor. There it is.
we go.
There it is.
It used to be, I know Penthouse had the newsletters. I didn't know what Playboy has.
Yes, Advisor. And
Advisor.
There's some good ones, especially since I don't know if you've heard any of the episodes where I've done this, or if you've even noticed them, I have several classic Playboys from like the 60s through the 80s.
I think you told me about it one night. I've heard a couple of them. I know the one you listened to earlier. I think you had Bo Derek.
Yeah, I got that one down there. That'll be fun. But yeah, before we get into that, I always have to mention, because I know there's a bunch of you out there that haven't done it yet, go to Facebook, look up Don't Wake the Kids, or just type in facebook.com/Don't Wake the Kids. Give me a like, follow, share it. On Twitter and Instagram, it's at DWTK Podcast. Tweet me. Tell me what you think of the show. Tell me, seriously, this time, tweet me if you think Chris should stay.
Do it, please. I need something to do.
Also, patreon.com/DWTK Podcast. Do you have $1? Because I want that $1. $1 a month is all it takes to help me out, keep the show alive. It's free to listen to. It's not free to make.
Give me some money.
I appreciate every time one of you guys gives me something. It's great. Everyone that donates to the Patreon, I have a personal relationship with now, and that rules. So yeah, just head over to patreon.com/DWTK Podcast. Donate $1 a month, $5 a month, 10, whatever. I'm very happy with $1 a month. But that's that. So, Chris.
Randall.
we've got a shit ton of stories.
Shit ton. Lot that we can't share. Some we can.
Some we will die with.
Worth
Oh,
it.
I forgot to mention also, we are streaming on Twitch right now. We have one viewer. I don't know who it is. I don't see it.
Hey, shout out to that one viewer. Thank you. Every view counts.
Yeah, they don't have an account, so I can't see their screen name. So whatever. But
Yeah. You lurker.
go to twitch.tv/DWTK podcast and follow me on there. And when we do these live streams, you can watch and see the unedited nonsense.
The raw footage.
Because you guys listening on your iPhone or whatever Android app you're using,
Samsung flip phone.
that's what you have, right?
Yeah.
You're not getting the full show. I edit heavily. Like you think we're just going full stream into this conversation with no breaks and going off onto tangents that you're not hearing some of these tangents.
You're missing some of the good behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah, so come over to Twitch. Come to the dark side and watch us fuck around for 4 hours so that you can hear a good 1 hour show. It's not really 4 hours.
We take 4 hours and combine it all down to one nice little hour podcast. I say we, I mean him.
Have you ever done a podcast before?
No, this is actually my very first podcast. First any kind of, I guess, audio, radio, talking.
You've never talked.
I mean, I've done news article. I mean, I've been interviewed by the news several times.
What was that about?
Just like I got caught in like random things. Like I was running outside when the heat index was like ridiculously high one day, and they were asking me why and how I could do it, and just because it was so hot out there. And then there was another time, I think it was like for school or something. They asked me a question about. I forget. It was over East Hills. It was whenever the first year that East Hills opened up, and they're doing some kind of PR thing, and they brought some students in down there. Couldn't remember tell you what it was about.
All right. Well, so I asked you that question. I was going somewhere with it.
Uh-oh.
I don't remember what.
Oh, there's that tangent thing.
Yeah. But we've got some stories that, when we do these or when I and John did these segmented shows, we would always bullshit for a while before we got into the segments. Yeah. So we're going to keep that tradition alive, and we've got some...
Well, technically, isn't this a segment then?
Bullshitting? Bullshitting is segment 1? Yeah, I guess so.
Go.
We've got some stories that we're going to tell and talk about from our youth. We're old fucks now.
The good old days.
I want to save the donut story for last.
All right.
Yeah, that's
a good one.
That's my favorite story to tell anyone. And 49 episodes now. I'm finally getting to do it. I've wanted to tell that from the very fucking beginning, but I knew I had to wait to get you on here before I did that.
Yeah, you gotta save the big guns,
Right. But first, Six Flags.
Six Flags.
Yeah. So when we were in high school, I was 16. Chris was 17. Us and was it 2 or?
It was JJ, Jeff, and Josh.
Okay, so there were 3 others.
Yeah.
We decided we wanted to go to Six Flags. Well, everybody got permission from their parents, except for Chris and I.
Well, we got permission.
We got permission to go camping.
Yeah, I mean, we got permission, just not for Six Flags.
We were explicitly told, no, you cannot go to Six Flags with your friends. Because it's it's like an 8-hour drive.
Yeah, well, it was more like they didn't want us going to, or my parents didn't want me going to Dallas without any parental supervision.
Yeah, that's exact same scenario here. But it's like an 8-hour drive, right?
Oh, sorry. No, Six Flags about like 4.
Is it that close?
Yeah, it's like 4 or 6 hours, 4 to 6. I mean, you can.
I don't know.
You can book it pretty good and get there in 4 hours pretty easy, I think.
I don't know about that. I feel like it's between 6 and 8.
Well,
I don't know. Somebody Google that for us. I'm not going to do it. But we, so Chris and I told our parents that we were going camping, and everyone else's parents knew exactly where we were going. We got up early. I think we left at like 4 a.m.
Yeah, it was like 4 a.m.
So that we could get to Six Flags opened at 10.
Yeah.
And we left at a perfect time to get there right at opening. So 4 to 10, it's a 6-hour drive to Six Flags in Dallas. Math.
And we got there a little bit before.
Yeah, we got there a little early, so we walked in when the gates opened. and spent the whole fucking day there. It was incredible. It was awesome.
I remember as we were like pulling up in there, though. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, the thought even come across my mind, but we're just kind of like, you know what? Maybe we're just gonna chill out here, not really ride the roller coasters. It kind of freaked us out at first, but then after everyone
remember
kind of
that.
I do. I remember Jeff at least for sure. Jeff was one of them. I could have sworn I thought you were one also too, but
No, man.
I remember.
I
I remember
love Six Flags.
I remember Jeff like sort of kind of backing out, and I was like, no, I was like, I can't. I don't want to be.
I could
like
see
a puss.
Jeff doing that. Jeff is kind of a baby.
So that's why the first roller coaster we went to was, or I went to, I know, was the Titan. And I was like, fuck it. I got to be in the front seat. I got to get it over with. And I remember sitting beside me the whole time was this Jamaican dude. And I remember we get off and it was just like, man, that was so way, man. That was so way. I haven't to this day no idea what way means, but apparently it was pretty awesome.
Way is a good thing, apparently.
Yes.
Holy shit, dude. You remember so many details that I have the worst memory, apparently.
I remember like the stupid detail. That's my problem. Is I can never remember like the cool, important details. It's always just like a stupid little thing.
But at least you remember details. I don't.
I guess that's what happens when you become a single bachelor in his 30s. Oh, wait, I am in my 30s. Man, it's bad. I forget how old I am sometimes.
I don't. Oh, man, I don't.
Dude.
Yeah.
But
anyway, so yeah, we spent all day at Six Flags. We were there. We walked in when the gates opened, and we left when they kicked us out.
yeah, we got from open to close.
We met some people there, and we hung out with them for a little while, for a couple hours at the end of it.
Good old friendly Dallas people, man. I mean, we even get a free dinner out of it.
They weren't from there, right? They were there with their grandma, or were they from Dallas and their grandma just took them?
I thought it was the parents.
You remember shit better than I do,
don't
but
know.
for some reason I remember it just being their grandma, and they took us to a Mexican restaurant afterwards.
I remember that mustache. Do you remember the dude with the handlebar mustache?
No.
Oh my goodness, how do I remember all these weird facts? Dude. Guy had a like ridiculously long waxed handlebar mustache, and I was like, that is cool.
Was he like
I wanted
working
to...
at?
Yeah, he was our server,
Okay.
man. He was like,
How the fuck do you remember? I was 15, so I was 16, so 15 years ago.
I told you, man, they were the
14
good.
years ago. Math is hard. God, Chris. All right, well, this is gonna
Man,
be fun then, because I'm gonna learn some shit.
Jeez, I thought maybe all the small things. Thought I was gonna be the one with the horrible memory.
No, I don't know why. Maybe I drank my memories away.
But still, I drank
them away
a
in
lot
Japan.
too, man.
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
did, Butters.
Butters.
Oh man, we'll save that one for another day.
Yeah, that'll be another day. I mean, honestly, I don't even remember a whole lot. That'd be all the stories from everybody else. Is what my memories recollected of.
I can tell you what I've heard from multiple people, but we'll save that. We'll save that.
You can always cut that out, I guess.
No, we'll leave it.
All right,
Get 'em-
get a little
get 'em
teaser.
back,
A
yeah.
little teaser. Like, maybe that'll want them to bring me back. Here we go. We have more stories.
So we went to a Mexican restaurant and ate with these people that we met at Six Flags.
Very nice people.
And then we went to Josh's cousin's dorm room.
Yeah, I believe it was his cousin. Because I think he was going down. He's going to school there or something like that. Or it's close.
Yeah. That sounds right. We didn't mention Josh had got bit by a brown recluse on his leg like a day or two before.
Very important piece of knowledge.
He didn't want to go to the doctor because he didn't want it to affect our Dallas trip. So he just suffered through it. And so the whole day he's dying because his leg is like rotting off.
Pretty much, exactly. I mean, we was at one of the rides. I don't think you guys were with us, but we're waiting in one of the lines, and all of a sudden the dude just goes down to his knees. And we're like, "Are you okay?" And he's like, "Yeah, I just need to catch my breath for a little bit." He's just sitting there chilling, and then finally the line moves and he stands back up. But I mean, the dude, he was a trooper, man. He really wanted to make sure to go to Six Flags. He got the full experience.
But then that night, we go to pass out at his cousin's dorm room, and like some of us are on the floor, and I guess like you had a recliner you were sleeping in or something. Yeah, we woke up in the middle of the night, and Josh is freaking out. There's blood everywhere. His leg wound from this brown recluse had exploded. Got blood and pus all over the place.
God, it was disgusting. It was horrible. It was like the world's largest pimple busting.
Did he ever go to the doctor?
I was with him with his mom before we went to Dallas, and he had spoken to a doctor that his mom knew there, and so I think he just writ him a prescription right there for some kind of antibiotic.
Must be
or
nice
something.
to have a mom that works at a hospital.
Dude, it's not bad when you work in a hospital setting because a lot of times I've seen people just kind of walk up to a doctor and be like, hey, this is bothering me. And they're like, and they'll just write the prescription right there. I'm not sure if that's legal. I'm not supposed to tell that, but
We won't say which hospital you work at.
Well, good. There's actually choices, so can't pinpoint it down to one.
Yeah. And yeah, we'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Josh's leg explodes and we're just like, oh man, that sucks. Good night. Going back to sleep. But the next day we woke up and I don't remember. I don't really remember.
All hell broke loose.
Yeah. I don't remember the full day. I remember we went to the mall. Is that all we did was went to the mall?
Yeah, we pretty much just woke up, got around and went to the mall. And I think my mom was blowing my phone up. And if I would have just answered then, I think I would have been fine.
Yeah, and it's all because of my mom. So, all right, what happened is we're walking around the mall, and my mom calls me. I am dumb, I guess. Or I'm not dumb. We were caught no matter what. But I answered my phone, and she's like, hey, what are you doing? And remember, we were camping.
Yes. Camping.
So I was like, oh, I'm just standing on the lake shore waiting on them to get back with the boat so it can be my turn to go out. And she's like, oh yeah, well, is there an adult around? I want to talk to an adult. And I was like, the only adult that's with us is on the boat, so no.
Was it like Jeff or Josh trying to pretend to be an adult or something?
Maybe.
I could have started that. I thought somebody was trying to act like an adult.
It couldn't have been. It would have had to have been Jeff or JJ because my mom would have known you were.
Oh
Josh.
yeah. I know. It definitely wasn't me. I know for sure it wasn't me. Keep on forgetting about JJ.
Yeah, I don't really.
JJ, he never was like.
He was like the quiet one.
He was always the quiet character.
That was just randomly there sometimes.
Yeah.
But I lied again. And she was like, no, I know where you are. Get your ass home now. Apparently, she was at the grocery store. And like I said, everybody else's parents, except for Chris and mine, knew where we were. She was at the grocery store and ran into Josh's little sister. And she ratted us out.
Damn Shelby.
So my mom goes home and calls me. And then a little while later, Chris's mom called her trying to find out where we were because we ended up like when we realized I was caught, we're just like, fuck it, might as well spend the day here. No rush getting home.
Yeah, at that point we just said fuck.
So Chris's mom was worried, so she called my mom trying to find out if they'd heard anything yet, and my mom told her. And when you got your call, we were on the road. Yeah,
I think my mom finally got a hold of me like right before we got into Fort Smith or something, because I remember like that feeling of just death when we rolled into Arkansas, and I was like, oh man, I was like, I'm gonna die.
Only time in my life I've seen you cry, Chris.
Man, I can't even believe I cried about that too. But man, I was like,
well,
I never heard my parents. I never heard my mom so pissed off at me. It was quite funny though. When I got home, I just like they were sitting on the couch ready to give me the whole, talking to. And I just walked in and I was like, hey, and just kind of just tried to avoid it and went into the room, went straight to my room. I was like, I know you guys are mad at me. So I know I'm grounded. So I'm gonna go straight to my room. Good night. And they weren't happy with that. They had to have the talk.
Yeah. Like it seemed like your parents were so much more mad than mine. Like, I got in trouble, and I was grounded.
I think I just made a bigger scene about it with my parents. I think it's
maybe.
Man, I really, it was like the worst thing I think I'd ever done and got busted doing when I was going in high school. And I don't know, I always had, the fear of God. It's the old military parent, I guess, dad. Brat life.
Yeah, I don't know. I read it as you were in a lot more.
Well, the thing was, I knew I couldn't have been in too much trouble with my dad because whenever he was 16, he went and ran off to Texas. So I was like, I knew I had that.
You fucking hypocrite! Don't be.
So I knew I had that on my dad. I knew he couldn't get too mad on me because he something had happened. And he just ran off to Texas. So I was like, all right, he can't be too mad. But oh goodness, my mother, dude, she was worried to death. I mean, I. Just like the little mama bear, want to know where her cub was. Yeah,
I thought you were going to be in a lot more trouble than me. And I was grounded for 2 months, I think. They told me, you were grounded for 2 months, period, no questions asked. You got the same punishment.
But I got like ungrounded like only a month into it. And
I don't even think you made it. I don't think it was like 2, maybe 3 weeks. You were ungrounded, and I was still stuck, not able to do fucking anything except go to work and come home.
Yeah, I remember. I think it was at the Poto game. You found out that I was about to get ungrounded or something, and you told your mom that, and she's like, "Nope, you're grounded." Yeah. It's like you're staying grounded, and yours was like my lie was worse than yours. I mean, you just lied about your parents or about adult not being there, I think.
No, I told them we were going camping.
Oh, you did? Yeah. Okay, for some reason I thought it was just it was an adult thing. Okay, never mind. That sucks, dude.
Yeah, no, it was, like that whole summer I was grounded. It sucked.
It was the power of the mullet. That's what changed my parents' mind.
Oh, you had a mullet at that time. I forgot about the mullet.
The old lightning bolt mullet.
Man.
Actually, my dad was furious when I had that. He hated the long hair, and so then I tried to meet him halfway and get it cut, and he was even more furious about the mullet. I mean, my dad grew up in white trash, so I figured he would appreciate the mullet more than anybody else.
Yeah.
But I think it reminded him of the family or something.
Well, I mean, he was in the military, so... which, fuck, I was in the military. If my son showed up with a mullet, I'd be like, dude, you just rock it. You do you.
Man, my dad lived in like...
Different times, though.
Yeah, my dad lived in the early 70s, late 80s, whatever, and dude had long hair than I did when I was in high school. He's still
alive now. So you can't really just say
Did I
he
just
lived.
Say alive? Well,
you said he lived.
Well, he lived. I mean, he's not living in the 70s anymore. He's technically living right now. So I mean, he did live in the 70s. Okay. Words, man. Yeah. Words are weird.
Yeah. But
funny or whatever.
Yeah.
Which was hashtag that?
Word what?
Words are weird.
Words are hard.
Are hard. Yeah.
That's Amy's catchphrase. Yeah. Catchphrase. See, words are hard.
They are.
Oh man, yeah, that's the Dallas story.
Don't drink and word. Not that we are.
Don't drink and word.
Yeah, not that we are drinking. But yeah, that is Dallas, definitely. We got grounded, came back, grew a mullet, and got ungrounded.
You're an ass. And speaking of, so another time when we actually did go camping, it was Chris and I and his girlfriend and her twin sister went camping with the girl's dad.
Oh yeah, forgot about that.
We went hiking, so we're like camping on this mountain. That word came out weird. Fuck.
Mountain. Cove Lake actually is what it's called. It's right underneath Mountain Magazine. Come to find out, there's a nice little trail you can actually walk from all the way top of Mountain Magazine down to the lake.
Yeah. Well, we decided we wanted to go hiking, so we start traipsing up this mountain through the woods. There's like a trail, so we weren't really roughing it. We were just hiking up this. It literally was like the side of a mountain. It was real steep, and we're having to weave up and down it.
There was a lot of big open space where we were, so it wasn't like any hardcore trail. But it was definitely. I mean, there was trail. It was some kind of trail.
But at one point, we were probably hiking for an hour and a half or so, and we hit a Y in the trail. In one direction, I think if you go we could go to the right, and it looked like it went to a road, which I didn't want to go down, and Chris's girlfriend didn't want to go down. So we wanted to go the other way to the left that looked like it still went off into trails. And Chris and his girlfriend's sister didn't want to go off into the woods. They wanted to go towards the road.
We wanted to be a little different.
So we just split up like geniuses.
Hey, I mean, we found our way back at least.
You did.
So, granted, it wasn't too far.
And I hate this, but I could never tell them apart unless you were holding one of their hands. Who was I with? Who were you dating?
I was dating
Allie.
Allie.
Okay, and you were with Amy.
I was with Amy. Yeah.
For everyone listening, not my wife Amy, different Amy.
Yeah, different Amy.
So Allie and I go left. Amy and Chris go right. We went maybe, I don't know. We might have walked 10 minutes, not even 10 minutes, and
you guys got lost though.
Well, Allie and I this is why we started talking about this earlier, and I stopped because you asked what happened, and I'm about to tell you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
So we walked for like 5, maybe 10 minutes, and we decided that we didn't like being split up from everybody. It was probably better to stick together. So we came back, and we heard you guys coming. So apparently you guys had turned around also.
Yeah.
So we heard you coming, so we decided to jump into the woods and hide behind some trees and jump out and scare you. Well, while we were waiting for you, I'm looking behind us and I see another trail. And we were dumbasses and thought it would be fun to see where it went. So we just walked through the woods to get to this other trail and start walking down this trail. And before we knew it, there was no trail. We were just walking in the woods. And we couldn't find, for the life of us, we couldn't find the trail. We were out there for hours.
Yeah, I know.
It was like 3, maybe 4 p.m. whenever we separated. It was like getting dark. When we finally got out of the woods.
We went back with her, looking for their dad, and then our dad. Remember, the dad got in the vehicle and got with us because he was worried and whatnot, trying to figure out where you guys were. And I think it's when we finally found y'all, because we went back into the woods, the trail, and then I think we.
You found us. All right, I'll get there. I'm going to tell you what happened while we were in the woods.
Oh yeah, sorry, don't need to get ahead of myself.
Getting a little ahead. It's okay. I'm going to edit all that out, but for those of you listening to the podcast, my wife just came in and interrupted us and I lost my train of thought.
Oh,
all right, so we're out in the woods.
Yep.
We took that trail. We ended up not on a trail. Couldn't find it. So we're looking for landmarks, trying to figure anything out to get back to where we were. So we are walking we're walking in the direction. So we're going back in the direction we came. It's kind of hard to put this into words. All right, think of it this way. We're walking north up the mountain when we're all together. We get to past the plateau of the mountain, so we're kind of on the other side. And this isn't exact. I'm just trying to let you guys understand. Like, I'm trying to paint a picture with my words here. We're walking north up the mountain. We go down the plateau.
Kind of like a Picasso.
And then we split up. Chris and Amy head east. Allie and I go west. Then at some point we decide to come back, and we're back at we'll say at the plateau of this mountain. And Allie and I decide to go farther west onto this other trail. So when we were following this trail south, and I'm just making up these directions. I'm just trying to make it easier to understand.
Does this place even exist that you're talking about?
This is just kind of the directions that we were walking in a made up direction. But so we're going back the way, like what should be the direction towards camp.
Okay.
Right? So we're going south back to where we came from, but we're going uphill. So, I mean, it's a fucking mountain, shit changes. So we get to on the way there, like we can see pretty far ahead of us, like maybe a mile through the trees. We can see where it breaks. We're walking and we hear something off to our left, like pretty far. I would say like 100 meters, about a football field away from us. We hear this like loud rustling noise. We look over and there's a fucking bear.
Fucking bear.
I'm not even kidding.
Bear.
There was a fucking bear. I couldn't tell you if it was brown or black. I don't know. We booked it. We were both cross-country runners, so we didn't even think about it. Sure, now I know you're not really supposed to run from bears, but
that
at
bear
the
didn't
time,
have a chance, man.
At the time, we were fucking scared, so we just took off running towards this clearing that we thought. And we get to the clearing, it's not a clearing, it's a cliff. So we're standing at this cliff, panting, dying, trying to catch our breath, looking down at the lake. So we could actually see, okay, we need to get there, but we're standing at the face of a cliff.
I kind of know where you guys are at now.
Yeah. So while we're standing there trying to catch our breath, we're just sitting there silently breathing heavily, and we hear this rattling noise. And we both just kind of looked at each other. We're just like, fuck. I look behind us, and so I'm standing on her left, and just on the other side of her, a little behind us, is a rattlesnake. Like, this story, it sounds so fucking fake, but I'm not even kidding. So we're like, all right, we gotta move. It's like, on the count of 3, we're gonna run that way to my left. I said 1, 2. I said on the count of 3 we'll run. 1, 2. She took off. And so then I took off with her, and we ran I swear we ran for at least a mile, maybe 2 miles away from this rattlesnake. I think we ran farther to get away from the rattlesnake than we did to get away from the bear.
Damn snakes, man.
I'm sure at some point it went from being we're running from this rattlesnake to we're running trying to find our way back down from the mountain. But we finally stopped running when we came to a barbed wire fence, and that made me really happy. Like, yes, barbed wire fence means it goes somewhere. We can follow this. We may walk in a big box before we find where it's going, but we will figure out how to get out of here.
Oh, civilization.
So we followed the barbed wire fence for a couple miles, and it came to a trailer, like a double wide trailer.
What a meth lab was it?
No, well, it turns out. Okay, well, I'll get there. I keep trying to get ahead of myself. It's almost worse than a meth lab.
Jeez.
We get up to we don't really want to go up to the trailer because we just walked out of the woods on some people's property.
But you get shot some places.
But so we're trying to stay kind of out of their like yard and go to the driveway and walk to the driveway so we can get to the road and possibly find somebody that can give us a ride back to camp or whatever. As we're walking by, I'm looking at this house, this trailer. I can see through the windows, and there's couches, like just a fuck ton of couches, wall to wall, floor to ceiling, just stacked with couches. Kind of like what?
I was kind of like Tony Lamo's basement with all those like mattresses and stuff.
Oh man, we'll talk about that sometime too. so many stories just. But yeah, so we walk over and we're looking through all the windows, and literally like this trailer was just full of couches. It was fucking weird. So we decided to run some more. We took off running down the driveway, and it turned out that driveway was the road that we had turned on initially when we got all split up.
Oh, okay.
So we were able to get back to the main trail and go down from the mountain. We got to the road, and you guys were driving up and down the road in their dad's car. And we were out there for, it was 5-6 hours at least. Dang. It was scary.
Geez, you guys, that was ridiculous. You had to deal with bears, snakes, random couches.
Yeah, it was an emotional experience.
Yeah, I can see. I can explain the tone on the drive home, maybe.
So the story I really want to tell, the greatest prank ever pulled, we're going to wait till next week.
All right.
We're already 40 minutes in, and that's going to be a long one. So let's get into the segments. All right. So what about that? Before we get into this, what about the what's your side of us being lost in the woods?
Pretty much it was really boring. Like, I'm kind of jealous that you guys had a really exciting time. Like all we did was we couldn't find you, and then we looked around, and then we went back to the camp, couldn't find you, and it was just a lot of boring walking and driving around trying to find you. And then you guys here are out battling bears, snakes, and couches and whatnot, and we're having to sit there and just walk around the woods and yell your guys' name.
So you were yelling?
At one point, I think it was like late, like after you guys had probably.
Well, no, we were yelling too.
Yeah, and we never heard you guys.
No, we never heard you either.
So we got separated like really far after that. Why? I don't know.
Well, I think it was the bear, because we ran for a long time.
That damn bear.
Fucking bear.
It was like the #1 threat in the U.S. Whatever.
Bears.
Yeah,
I think that's probably not right.
No, is it
that's
Stephen,
Canada.
I think wasn't that like a Stephen Colbert thing, joke?
I don't know.
Maybe, I don't know. It used to be always like his #1 like threat, and then he'd go into all these other threats. Or I could just be making this stuff up.
I think you're making.
No, there was some. He has something against bears.
Who doesn't?
Isn't he Canadian too, or something? Or is that Tom Green?
Lilith, let us know. Is Tom Green is Canadian?
Yeah, Tom Green's totally Canadian.
Stephen Colbert, he's American.
Well, yeah, but he has I thought he got his citizenship.
Someone Google that for us and tell us.
I could be wrong. Who knows?
So let's get on to the first segment. #trending. Since Chris is new here, I will let him read the first one. The hashtag this week is "My Epitaph Will Say." Do I need to explain what an epitaph is? Do you think everyone knows?
I hope so.
I'll just go ahead and say it. It's like the inscription on your gravestone for anyone that doesn't know.
The sentence to sum up your life and death.
Right. So my epitaph will say. Just read who that's by and what it is.
All right. At Danking. Oh, sorry. at the King Longwood.
I did the same thing when I was talking. I was like, daking. What is that?
No, not Dinking, but the King Longwood. What the fuck was that all about?
And then at Randy Lynn is in. Yeah, at Randy Lynn is in. She died doing who she loved.
All right, next we got at Handy Yo as
Hand yo ass to ya.
Oh, hand yo ass to ya. What's the? I don't know. There's a random like laugh at Handy. At hand yo ass to ya. Quote. What's the Wi-Fi password down here? End quote.
And then at Larry's Twin 99. Oh man, this was the only way to get out of sex with my wife.
And see, at the Scott father, I told you I wasn't a hypochondriac.
I like that last one.
Man, if I had one, it'd probably been said, told you shouldn't have done that.
Like, what a dumbass. All right. Well, that was quick and easy.
Oh,
Quick and painless.
It wasn't like 40 minutes for that one.
No. The segments go pretty quick.
Yeah.
Next one is real news or fake news. For anybody that doesn't know what that is, basically every other week we're gonna trade off. This week, since he's new here, I'm gonna read one to him. Next week he'll read it to me. But we have to pick either a real news story that sounds fake or a fake news story that sounds real. And the other person has to try to figure out if it's real or fake. So this week's real news or fake news headline is, oh man, babysitter transported to hospital after inserting a baby in her vagina.
Oh, wow.
Cincinnati, Ohio. A 31-year-old woman was admitted to the University of Cincinnati Medical Center yesterday after the 14-month-old toddler she was babysitting got stuck in her vaginal cavity.
14 months.
Latifah Brown called 911 around 9:30 p.m. last night, reporting that she had a baby stuck in her vagina. The operator first assumed that she was giving birth at home and dispatched an ambulance to the site. The paramedics had quite a surprise when they arrived on the site and saw what was actually happening. One of the paramedics, Brian Whitmore, related the incident in an interview with WBNS 10 TV. The little boy wore a diaper and pajamas, but he had his legs and abdomen stuck in the woman's vagina. The paramedics spent more than an hour on the site trying to release the child from his difficult position, but were unable to get the toddler out. I don't know how she got the child in there. We were both pulling as strong as we could, and he wouldn't come out.
Jeez.
Miss Brown and the child were finally transported to the hospital, where doctors were able to separate them after a delicate operation. The young boy suffers from a dislocated hip, but doctors don't think he will suffer any long-term injuries from the incident.
What, PTSD or something?
The babysitter was interrogated by police and confessed to deliberately inserting the child in her vaginal cavity. She explained that she was feeling depressed after her doctor told her she could never have children and wanted to know how it felt to give birth. Ms. Brown now faces a total of 11 criminal charges, including aggravated child neglect causing bodily harm, and could spend up to 65 years in prison. Her lawyer has asked for a psychiatric evaluation, claiming that she isn't fit to stand trial. Depending on the results of the evaluation, her trial could begin in June. Real news or fake news, Chris?
Oh my goodness. Now where was this? Where did this take place at? It was in Cincinnati, or is that where the news
Cincinnati, Ohio.
Oh my goodness. I'm hoping it's fake news, but I feel like deep down inside that this is real news, and it's sad that I feel this way.
When I read it, I was like, yep, that could go either way. So what are you going to go with, real or fake?
I'm going to go with, I want it to be fake, so I hope it's fake.
It is fake.
Oh, thank goodness. There is a little bit of hope in this world left.
I was reading that, sitting here before we got started. I actually had another one that I had planned on using about a parrot is going to be giving one of the draft picks for, who was it?
The Buccaneers.
For the Buccaneers, yeah. And that just sounded ridiculous to me, but he had already read that article because apparently he gets lost in ESPN. But when I was sitting here reading this, looking up articles to use, I was trying so hard not to laugh.
I can see it. I see you like looking like you were really into that story.
Normally I would just kind of skim it, but that one I had to read the whole thing. So do you have a?
The thing is, I really think that has happened somewhere. Like I don't think that has not happened.
I want to believe.
That's what really bothers me.
I want to believe that it's never happened. No one's tried reverse birth.
Well, dude, I work at a hospital, man. That's a big deal about people stealing kids. It's a real, like, there's a big
but
code
sticking
and
it back in the vagina or sticking
dude, this,
like somebody
people
else's.
People stick worse things in there.
That's true.
People stick a lot worse things than that in there.
Chris,
Randall,
do you have a YouTube channel of the week?
Well, it is kind of a popular one, I think. I'm not sure if you're an anime fan or a Dragon Ball Z fan, anything like that. It's called Team 4-Star. I love to watch their shows. I'm a huge Dragon Ball Z fan, and I actually love it way more than probably the original Dragon Ball Z. It's a great, they do Dragon Ball Z, Attack on Titan. They even do games too. Then they have a gaming channel too, where they also play games and they play their characters as they were playing the games. So it's a pretty cool, interesting show if you're just into that kind of anime parody type stuff. But yeah, it is all parody. Been waiting on a new episode for about good 6 months or so now, but they usually come out episodes every couple months.
Well, I'm gonna email and be like, dude, Chris needs your shit.
Yeah, I know, dude. I've been waiting forever. Episode 60, man. We're right now. I don't know if you guys, for anybody that's Dragon Ball Z fans, right where they're at the Cell games, dude, and Gohan's about to fight Cell. That's a really big deal, man.
I'm sure.
So it better
we have
be
a bunch
epic.
of listeners that are into anime, Dragon Ball Z, all that. I don't.
Man,
not even a little. I watched. I tried. No, when we were in school, I tried watching them. I could never get. We would go to Josh's house, and the three of us would sit there and watch Dragon Ball Z, and I just didn't understand why you guys liked it. It just doesn't do it for me. But hey, I'm not gonna knock that YouTube channel. Lots of people are into that stuff, and I know a lot of people listening probably like it too. So Team 4-Star.
Yeah, who doesn't like space fighting karate masters?
I don't like the art style of anime. I don't like that.
I get that.
That art, it just, I don't know. I just don't. I'm not into it.
I see.
It's just not me. But a lot of people like it, so I can't knock it.
Yeah.
But so I've got to find a Playboy article.
No, Playboy. Tell me how to live my life. I could probably go back to my uncle's place, and they had a tub of Playboy hustlers and all that stuff. I might see if I can grab some for you. I'm not gonna lie, some of the pages might be sticking together though, so I don't know if you want them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, apparently they've been used since the 70s.
All right, so we're gonna go with December 1968 issue of Playboy. I have no idea who this is on the cover. Some chick wearing a Christmas tree lights.
See? Impressive.
I just gotta find the advisor.
Wow. I'm surprised I've not seen a set of tits yet.
Yeah, that's the thing about these. I've noticed, when I started collecting them, which I need to get more. I only have a couple. But
that's pretty. What a supportive wife buying you Playboys.
When I first started collecting these, I really noticed, Playboys don't have, especially these older ones, they don't have a lot of pictures. It's mostly articles. And
classy. There's some K-Jeweler ads.
A shit ton of ads, yeah. Here's a section on how to please a man. Here's a section on oral sex, how to do it. Playboy Advisor, here we are.
Here we go.
All right. Some guy writes. Wait, is there a name? RB from New York, New York.
Is that what he writes, or is that what you're saying?
He wrote this to the Playboy Advisor. A girl with whom I've been going steady for 2 years is becoming interested in another man, but I'm still crazy about her. A close friend of hers has advised me that my girl has gotten tired of me because I'm too nice to her. It seems the other guy treats her badly some of the time, and she finds this exciting. My girl's friend advises me that if I start getting a little tough with her, this is likely to win her back. Do you think this is good advice? What do you think, Chris? What do you think the Playboy Advisor in 1968 said about that?
The old nice guy effect. I bet you, I haven't read the Playboy Advisor. They're probably telling him be a little more, step up his game, be a little more aggressive, I bet.
So you think they would say it's good advice?
I think they would, I don't think it's necessarily good advice, but I think they would.
You think the Playboy Advisor is going to say that it's good advice?
I think so.
All right. Playboy Advisor reply, no. If you did win your girl back that way, it wouldn't be you she was coming back to, but a role you were playing. Furthermore, your girl sounds like she may be carrying carrying a masochist bag, and you'll never relate to a masochist unless you're a sadist. Good relationships are not built on game playing. They're built on finding people who groove with you as you are, and vice versa.
Wow.
That's good advice, Playboy Advisor
There
from
you go.
1968.
Thought it was a little more womanizing than that, but they're actually pretty
from what
stand-up, classy people.
All of them that, like, there's been a couple little things that was like, it's a little outdated what you're saying there, but for the most part, every one of them that I've read have been good advice.
Huh. Went to church one time. This is totally random. We're talking about Playboy, so might as well bring up this.
Bring up church.
No, I was just saying it was kind of like it was advice through church. They're talking about with their husband and wives and how that the women all women need to respect their husbands and that for how they're put. It was kind of like where men are over women. Like,
was it a Pentecostal church?
No, it was an old Southern Baptist church.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, it was just talking about how men. I forget what the word was, but they pretty much are. Women are there in the relationship. They're the step below the husband,
right?
Which is just I don't know.
Not in my house.
Seemed it seemed a little outdated to me. There was a couple people that did walk up out of the service, which I thought was entertaining and impressive.
That's fun. Well, guys. I don't know, Chris, do you have anything else you want to talk about before we get out of here?
We've got more stories, so hopefully people like me enough to help bring me back. If not, I'm just coming back.
I'll give them a vote, but I have the final say.
It's like, I don't think you guys, it's going to be like the American election. You guys can vote and all, but I don't think it's really going to matter.
It doesn't matter. There's already
the higher powers have already chosen who's going to be
I've already made up my mind that you'll be back, but I would like everyone to write me on Facebook or Twitter or whatever and just let me know if you liked Chris on the pod.
Yeah. Let me know if I'm liked or not.
But the advice this week, I'm going to change it up a little bit. No quippy one-liner. If you're about to have your first kid or you're a new parent, guys, remember to take care of your wife too. If they're a stay-at-home mom, it's the most important thing you can do for them. When you get home from work, even if you're tired, it can be tough, but take over the kid duties. It'll strengthen your bond with the kid and your marriage at the same time.